I speak over here? Wherever. It's kind of difficult to speak after such a powerful and popular speech of your Prime Minister, to be very honest. But let me try to go through what I have prepared. So I'm founder of the Japanese internet company called Rakuten Group. Recently we became very famous for our telecom challenge. Everybody thought we were crazy and everybody thought we were going to fail, but I think in a sense we're kind of moving forward and succeeding. Just a quick recap of who we are. I used to work for a Japanese bank as an investment banker. Founded Rakuten Group in 1997 with 6 people. Small sort of a startup for the marketplace. It was kind of the first marketplace in the world. Since then, we've been growing very rapidly, and not only we grew our e-commerce business, but we kind of built the ecosystem around it. Now the global GDP, including payment and everything, is this year getting close to 400 billion US dollars. And our revenue, meaning our fee income and interest income, is getting close to 20 billion USD. Who we are? We are number one in many verticals in Japan. We are the biggest e-commerce company in Japan. We are the biggest credit card company. We are the biggest online bank, online brokerage, online travel agency, etc., etc. Outside of Japan, we have one of the largest reward program called Rakuten Rewards in the US. We own one of the largest social messaging app called Viber, and now we are entering into telecom software business with our subsidiary called Rakuten Symphony. So this is our global presence. Notably, that in Canada, we have the second largest ebook company called Kobo. In the world, Amazon Kindle owns about 70% of the market share. We own about 30%. So we are the Japanese startup, but we have a very strong global ambition. And this is what we have built for the last 30 years. My plan when I started was I'm going to retire in 5 years, but I keep doing it. It has been too long, maybe. One of the notable differences is we use just one single brand, Rakuten. So Rakuten Marketplace, Rakuten Travel, Rakuten Car, Rakuten Mobile, Rakuten Bank, Rakuten Brokerage, and we own also two sports teams. And around our brand, we use our data, our point membership program, and our communication to really enrich our ecosystem. So almost everybody in Japan is our members. We have over 100 million membership within 125 million population. So now, talking about India, this is very important for us. Important for us as for our business and also from our development and engineering resources. We have about 5,000 engineers in India, and they are really building extremely strong technological platform for us, not only for our mobile business, but for our e-commerce, our fintech businesses, and so forth. Why we enter into the mobile business? So we are the mobile service provider in Japan called Rakuten Mobile, and we also have software company called Rakuten Symphony. But we are the only one who started from OTT service and went into the mobile service layer. Most of the time, mobile companies want to get into the OTT services, such as content or finance or e-commerce, but we went the other way around. And we know that if they join Rakuten Mobile, they use more, and we believe that we want to go global with our software, not with our mobile service. So what we have done is we built the world first. We talk about now technology and communication technology, but we are probably the most successful telecom companies in terms of deploying open radio access network. And by doing full visualization utilizing AI, our total capex is probably close to 50% less than our competitors, and our total cost operation top TCO is 30 to 40% lower, maybe even more than our competitors. Rakuten Mobile has only less than 1,000 employees, versus our competitors has 15,000, and we automate as much as possible. So basically, we are the first one to disaggregate really hardware and software, and then deploy the open radio access network in full scale in Japan. And everybody thought this is going to be very challenging, but I think the quality-wise, we are getting extremely high assessment by third-party objective researchers. So we have deployed over 340,000 radio stations, including over 100,000 the macro cells towers in Japan, and we are about to get to 10 million subscribers in Japan. Outside of Japan, we built also the network in Germany for our client called One and One Dirish, and so forth. So we manage 3,000 edge data centers. So we are moving edge computing, and we manage 4 big data centers, 38,000 servers, and so forth. So very different. And the fact that in Japan, maybe a little bit easier in India, it's very difficult to build the radio towers in Japan, rooftop. But we build basically close to 100,000 radio stations in 3 years in the building top of the Tokyo, Osaka, and major cities. And now we have achieved 98.9% of the population coverage by our network. And the rest of it, we are relying on our roaming partner. So this is one of the reasons why we can build up so fast without very limited human resources. We can do auto commissioning our sites, and our configuration of the site is very compact, very light. We use DU, both by our own technology, and we are expanding very fast. And we also use AI for RIC, running engine controller, to make our network stable, efficient, and agile. Now, just last point is touching upon our satellite project. We are the founding partner of the company called AST Space Mobile. We gave initial hundreds of millions of dollars to start the company. But the difference between AST and Starlink is basically we have array of antenna. Google, they are our partners, and now if you add so last thing is that we're talking about 5G to 6G, but the problem is how they can reutilize the asset they have. So now Rakuten Mobile is really deeply connected services and content services and so forth, and we have seen the tremendous nutrition effect. Like if they join Rakuten Mobile, they buy 50% more from our marketplace. They use our travel 20% more. They use our credit covers 30% more. So it's not that Rakuten Mobile is trying to disrupt the industry with the mobile, but we are disrupting the mobile industry by our ecosystem and our business model. Rakuten Symphony is, of course, what we talk about today, and it's a software company for telecom. We have OSS, RAN, and ORAN software. And now we have about 3,000 people in India, in 3 offices, and we have 25 products and so forth. So we are trying to combine Japanese innovativity and omotenashi mindset with high quality, with very advanced Indian technologies and expertise, and try to disrupt the telecom industry. Now we have clients using our software, 12 in the Americas, 19 in EMA, and 14 in APAC. And we are trying to aim to 100 plus customers very, very soon. So this is what we are doing. So we do many things, but in a nutshell, we start from e-commerce, expanded to fintech. Now we're in the telecom business. We are trying to utilize our software to build more relationship with our global partners all over the world. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mikitani, for your presentation, introducing us to the digital imprints which you have made in Japan and in the other countries, and then your digital footprints here in India. Our next speaker, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ankur Kapoor, the Chief Network Officer, T-Mobile. He's a telecommunications executive specializing in next-generation network technology with more than 2 decades of extensive experience shaping global mobile infrastructure and innovation.
Since this industry was invented, you had to choose between the best network and the best value. But we had a dream that we could bring that day to an end, and we've done it. There's a new network leader in this country, and it's T-Mobile.
We've got the most towers, the best spectrum, and the most advanced network technology. My favorite, slicing. We finally have the network capability to create a network that meets the needs of a specific group of people.
Being the best just is never good enough for us. Because T-Mobile members, they deserve more.
That really is what the Un-carrier is all about. Big breakthroughs that address the pain points in this industry.
It's so great to be here. It's actually my first time at IMC, so it's amazing to see what the journey has been. As you can see, I started my career 2 decades ago in India, actually in Delhi, and with Airtel/Ericsson. So lots of roots back here, but fantastic to see how much progress has been made. And it was great to hear Prime Minister Modi this morning on where India's headed. If any of you have followed T-Mobile journey, it's probably a little difficult. We've been based in the United States. We were number 4 in a 4-horse race for about a decade ago. We did not have the network, we did not have the assets, we did not have the technology, and we were competing with 1 generation technology behind compared to everybody else in the country. Everybody else was selling LTE, and T-Mobile was still doing 3G. That's what our journey was. And that's when we started thinking about how do we actually break that arrogant industry back in the United States. And one of the trade-offs that always had to happen, I heard a lot this morning A gigabyte of data in this country costed, whatever, $90, and now is actually less than a, a cup of tea, right? It costs about $9 a GB. It was pretty much same in the United States. It was very expensive. Everybody had to pick either between the value or the network experience. And that's what the three pillars of T-Mobile journey. We built the best network, the best product, and the best experience. And that's really what happened in what made us from number 4 to number 1 carrier in the country. If you look at the 2025 growth on 5G, we have been leading the nation on the 5G. I again heard this morning, some of these stats were pretty mind-boggling for me. Did not realize that over 300 million people in this country have 5G. I think rising to 500 million, somewhere in that range. That's more than the population of the United States. Right? We have about 130 million customers in T-Mobile, and we're sitting at about 80% 5G penetration. So 5G has been absolutely great for thing. But one of the biggest use cases for 5G for T-Mobile has been fixed wireless access. We started this journey about 7 years ago, and we had 0 customer. We have now been the fastest growing FWA provider in the country for 13 quarters straight, so coming up on 5th year anniversary. We now have 7 million FWA customers, and that's been the journey of 5G. That's what we had promised on 5G. What would 5G bring to the country? How did we do that, right? And really, it's a platform that's built on innovation. It's a platform that's built on network. That is the product. And we're the only, in US, we're the only scaled 5G standalone network. And why is that important? The reason 5G was invented was lots of enterprise use cases and the standalone, cutting all the cords with the older technologies, looking at the innovations that comes on 5G that were not possible on 4G. And one of the biggest things, I think if you guys saw the video, one of the biggest things that we talked about is 5G slicing. And what does 5G slicing means? There's lots of things you can see in the background on the screen here. These are the use cases of 5G advanced. These are the use cases of 5G standalone. One of I'll take a couple of examples. You see a service called T-Priority. And the first responder is one of the biggest markets in the United States. A first responder connection is all of the 911, which is basically the ambulance, the fire, the police, whatever happens. And that, what we think, is the most important connection for T-Mobile. Not for the customers, but for T-Mobile, it is the most important connection. That is a difference between a life and death situation, right? That's when you really need those connections. And that's what we enabled with 5G standalone. We have given everybody a higher priority. So when that 911 call comes in, all other connections becomes less important there. On the enterprise side, if you think of small businesses and medium businesses, those businesses are built on connectivity. If you think of Ubers of the world, if you think of Lyfts of the world, or DoorDash, the connectivity is really what makes the money. And that's, again, a good use case of features like 5G slicing on what we're doing in that space. The journey for T-Mobile has been what we call it, from a challenger to a champion, right in there. And how do you think about challenger to champion, or how do we think about challenger to champion? Challengers are somebody who actually follows the rules that are written and then tweak them a little bit. That's what we did as Challenger 5 years ago. There were other competitors of ours that were writing the rules, Verizon's and AT&T's of the world, and we were tweaking them a little bit, and we were actually following them, right? As a champion, we now write the rules. We are writing the rules in the United States, and we are trying to collaborate a lot with the global operators, especially in India, because India has that scale, to really get into the era of 6G and lead the world for 6G. Probably somebody in India here, but T-Mobile in the United States. The next thing that we're working on is AI RAN. I think it's hard to actually not talk about AI in any context these days, right? AI is actually, many people say is overhyped. Generally, our view is AI is underhyped, right there. It's not being talked about enough, right? It's not being actually put to use for what its promises were. And AI RAN is the concept that we launched last year at our Capital Markets Day, where we are collaborating with Nokia, Ericsson, and NVIDIA, and T-Mobile is leading the charge on that, where we want to bring AI into the radio network. We want to actually initiate use cases where when you are next to the cell site, when you are next to the tower, everything is virtual and everything that's happening in the AI RAN. is based on the GPUs and the AI space there. And why is that important? Because that's the bridge to the 6G era. And we've already started thinking about 6G. One of the biggest things that's happening in the United States over the next 3 to 4 years is the Olympics. It's in 2028, it's in Los Angeles. And that's going to be a biggest showcase for United States of the technology of something that's happening over the next 3 to 4 years. There's no other big event that's happening bigger than LA28. So lots and focus on that. We, T-Mobile, also actually are the official sponsors of LA28. So there was a long process that lasted over a year. All the carriers were evaluated. And eventually the government of the United States came back and said they want to pick T-Mobile as the official sponsor for LA28. And that's where the 6G era is going to start. Now 6G is probably not going to be ready by 2028. But I think there are some areas of 6G that can be showcased, right? And we talked in one of the opening presentations this morning. ISAC, or interference sensing, it's one of the biggest showcase for 6G. We have been thinking about 6G a little bit differently. One of the things that we think was missed in the 4G and 5G era was not talking about customer pain points, not talking about what do customers need. It was more of a technology development as opposed to a customer-centric view. And we have decided, back at least in the United States as T-Mobile,